Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10 Minute Torah, Day 4 of Vayigash, He Drew Near. The original understanding and application of He Drew Near is Yehuda approaching Joseph to have a private conversation that we talked about on Day 1. Now it is perhaps applied to Joseph drawing near to his brothers, allowing them to see him revealed and understand who he really is. And now there is something a step further. It says in chapter 45 and beginning in verse 10 and following, Joseph's allowing his brothers to know, look, I'm here to take care of you. Go get your family, go get dad, bring everybody down. Allow my father to know of my esteem and all that I have been able to accomplish in the land to this point. And bring the family here, and I will take care of you during the time of famine. Now it says in verse 14, and he fell on his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept on his neck. Then it says, he kissed all of his brothers and wept over them, and after that his brothers spoke with him. Again, being reminded that Benjamin is a type and shadow of the Temple Mount. The restoration of the family is not complete until the issue of the Temple Mount is resolved. Now, if you were to go to the land of Israel, which I encourage you to do, and if you haven't already done so, and you're looking for a means and a way to go, the right company to go with, the right tour guides to go with, the only explanation that I can give, or the only suggestion rather that I would give, is that you go with Mike Clayton and Hanok Young with the Connect to Israel tour. You can go to kolyehuda.com or jointahashem.org, and you can find out more information on that, but that is the only tour to go on. That said, if you go to the land of Israel, let me not say if, when you go to the land of Israel and you go to the city of Jerusalem, if at all possible, while it is still permitted to do so, you want to go up onto the Temple Mount. Now, I'm not here to debate about those who would say the Temple Mount's actually located in the city of David and elsewhere. I have very firm mindsets on that, and I'm confident that the Temple Mount is the Temple Mount. But that said, when you go there, there is reason to weep for that which has been lost. When you arrive on the Temple Mount, you will probably be struck by the immense size of this piece of property. In my mind, I'd always imagined it to be confined and restricted. It's actually quite large. There are many buildings on that property, not just the one with the gold dome, nor the mosque that is there. You will also be struck by the casual attitude of those who possess the authority on that mount, those who are free to worship there don't worship. They're milling around. There is debris strewed about. There is junk piled in corners. There are young boys playing soccer, all in the area that Yah has established as the center of his gaze to the earth. When he looks at this world and this planet, and his eyes focus on that location, everything else is peripheral to it. So Joseph learning to weep on the neck of Benjamin or the Temple Mount is part of our healing. Yearning and crying out, Father, send Mashiach, send him quickly, send him in our day, and let him build again your house. we are not born again. We have not been redeemed to simply live a better life in exile, to have the opportunity to be counted among those blessed, whatever that means. We're not born again to have an easier, more comfortable, convenient lifestyle. We are born again to become strategists, to become significant players in the bringing about of the kingdom of heaven to this earth. As Yeshua taught us to pray, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We are redeemed to become part of the plan. And the plan in its fruition and its completion, the plan in its fullness is the kingdom of heaven coming to earth, Yeshua reigning upon the earth, and that means his house being erected on that property. I cannot believe that it will share real estate with shrines and buildings dedicated to a different God. Somehow, by some means, something will take place. Natural occurrence, supernatural occurrence, I don't know. But that spot is going to be cleansed, and the house of the Most High is going to be built. And men from all nations, Isaiah 2 says, will come and hear the word of Yahweh being declared from Mount Zion. That we know. So Joseph weeping on his brother's neck facilitated a healing of weeping and sharing together with his other brothers and starting a conversation. Could it not be a lesson for us that if there is a commonality of a broken heart for the Temple Mount and for the house of Elohim being erected upon the earth, the men of all nations can come and to worship the Most High and worship Him in purity of heart and simplicity and according to His protocols. If we can get sold out to that, if we can become convicted toward that, if we can become urgent about that, and we share that commonality among ourselves, I believe that it will allow us to weep over our brokenness between ourselves and allow ourselves to become healed, be a family again. Now, it's interesting to me that when Joseph sends his brothers back home, two things stand out in my mind. Number one is that he says to his brothers, do not quarrel with one another while you're in the way. 22 years apart from them, he still knew them. He knew their tendencies and that they were very apt to become argumentative, debating. In his mind, he could already hear the accusations. We'd have never gone through all of this, Yehuda, if you haven't convinced us to sell him. Shimeon, you were the one that put him in the pit. If you'd have never put him in the pit, we'd have never gone through this. We barely got out of this alive. And on, the insults and the quarreling would have gone. Quarreling while we're in the way. We're not home yet. We're not even remotely close. We have an extreme amount of work to do to restore righteous and correct relationships among ourselves. Quarreling while we're in the way is counterproductive to what we're trying to accomplish. The second thing that stands out to me is that Joseph sent wagons. Now, Pharaoh had said, leave your goods at home, leave everything where it's at. You don't need anything. Everything you need is to be found in Mitzrayim. Come, the best of the land is available for you. You can find everything you want at the Walmart here in Mitzrayim. It's all good. Just come on. But Joseph sent wagons for them to bring their things, their culture, their possessions, their identities, to make the transportation thought to include who they were. Joseph sent, at least in my understanding, wagons to transmit the message, bring yourselves home. Bring it here. Don't lose who you are. Bring it all. Until tomorrow's conclusion, shalom.